I want to spend just a minute and talk about AEW Revolution. You were there and you had a front row ringside seat for one banger after another. But when it was all said and done, the match that is burned in everyone's memory is the incredible performance by Mariah May and Toni Storm.
Exactly.
It was an unbelievable bloodbath. It had a Hollywood ending. That was the theme. And even that final shot, the overhead aerial shot where we saw on both screens the end. Man, it just that's a tough act to follow. I even said that before the main event. Imagine having to follow everything on this card. That was a spectacle like I've never seen before in women's wrestling, Jim. What'd you think?
I loved it. I loved the match. It was my favorite match on the show. It delivered. I talked to Toni before the show, and she said, "Are you going to put same old shit? You going to put us over?" Of course I am. I said, "But you got to do things that's going to make me want to put you over." She said, "Oh well, don't worry, it's coming." So, but I love Toni Storm. I really do. I told Tony Khan this. I think she's our MVP. She just delivers, man. And even she got some color, and that really accentuated the match, the dramatic aspect of the match. It worked. It worked like a champion. So Toni Storm is a tremendous performer, and if you get a chance to like her, then you'll be great. Since she's just terrific. I love to watch her work. She's great backstage. She's great to talk to, and she had a really tremendous outing with a younger Mariah May, who's Toni Storm is helping make a star out of, and that's where I see it. I think I'm glad you liked the match because it
was awesome. I really want everybody who hasn't seen it, go out of your way to see it. I guess it's only a matter of time before we see some of those pay-per-views on demand. And Jim, it was announced that now you can actually order the AEW pay-per-views on Amazon. That feels like a big deal. You want to be easy to buy from. Feels like everybody's watching something on Amazon these days. And our conversation we had with D'Lo Brown over at AdFreeShows.com. I don't know that you had a chance to catch that interview yet, Jim, but D'Lo and I talked about everything, and I mean everything. And we touched on the tragedy of Owen Hart's death, and of course the freak accident that left Draws paralyzed, and it affected both men in a deeply profound way. Let's take a listen.
Oh, I quit wrestling that night. I was done. I left the building in Long Island. I was like, I'll never wrestle again. And I remember going home and telling JR, I'm like, I'm retiring. I'm done. I can't do this anymore. I can't even. It's not something you plan on or even envision, but it's something you hold someone else's world in your hands every time you do something.
Yes.
And he and I had done that running powerbomb literally 100 times on the road over 6 months. And he and I watched it back together one time.
Really?
And yes. And neither of us could figure out what went wrong. It was just, and for the world to know, he and I maintained being friends up until his passing.
Yes.
We were good friends. We talked on the phone all the time. And to his credit, he never held it against me because he came from that football mentality where, he could make a tackle and he could be paralyzed. So he knew that it's part of playing the game. And once again, I'll give credit to Jim Ross. He let me sit at home for a week, and then he started calling me. And he gave me the speech where he's like, let's a travesty happened. A career ended. Let's not let two careers end.
Yes.
And let's make one career work for two.
Fantastic conversation. Want you to check it out. I absolutely fell in love with D'Lo Brown. What an incredible human being. It's all a part of our False Finish series. We've also done these with Midian, Maven, Glacier, Adam Bomb. And later today, here's a spoiler for you. I'm sitting down to record with Mark Marrow. It's all exclusively at adfreeshows.com, where you can find series you can't find anywhere else. including regular series with Lex Luger and The Godfather and David Crockett and Mike Chioda and Nick Patrick and Tully Blanchard and Sam Adonis and Downtown Bruno. It's a who's who of professional wrestling with more than 100,000 hours of bonus content, including every single StarCast panel show. There's live interactive Q&As and watch-alongs with your favorite Hall of Famers. Come join us. Be a part of the family at adfreeshows.com.
Yeah, great stuff there. If you're a fan, now you step away from this, you got to watch it. It was nice that D'Lo included me in this interview. Thank you, Conrad. But it was all true. My association, I like doing business with D'Lo. He's a former defensive player, a defensive lineman for the Maine Black Bears. He had an athletic background, and I always appreciated that. But he's a very educated, smart guy. And so I enjoyed what D'Lo said. Thank you very much, D'Lo, for including me in your interview. But we worked. That was all that stuff was true. You know, we've lost one guy inadvertently, because a mistake was made. Let's not lose two guys. We need to get the other guy back. And so, however we made that work, you know, getting D'Lo's head and making sure he was happy was what we did. And you know, nobody in my office at WWE at the time asked any questions about why you're taking care of D'Lo. He's a preliminary guy, but he was a wrestler and a good guy, a good human being. So I wanted to make sure that good human beings are dotted in our lineup, and that would include a D'Lo Brown. So he did well. D'Lo's a very smart guy, and he endured what was going on and made it work. So I'm very proud of D'Lo Brown. You know, he was involved in a tragedy that none of us will ever forget. I was on the road with Stone Cold at the time, doing a shoot, and I think it was in Michigan, but he was deer hunting, and so I made sure that we took care of that matter, and you know we got the word that how the accident went down, and neither one of us were there. It had affected both guys tremendously. So I just want D'Lo to fade away in the background, and it'd be you know, one of those deals where you just don't hear from a guy again. It's not good storytelling. So it worked out fine. At the end of the day, D'Lo got back in the game, and was one of the a true star. There's no doubt about it. He just didn't get the credit. He's known for one thing, and that's the Duras incident, Conrad, and that's not fair, and it's not right. He's got to be known for more than that. And you know, D'Lo was a very prominent member of the Nation of Domination, and I loved that group back in the day. They were entertaining as hell, and they served their purpose. They're a great team, great unit to be involved in, and we had a lot of fun with that. So I'm glad that D'Lo was speaking on it, and congratulations to you for getting that interview, because it's a key interview.
Fantastic. During the interview, he revealed that if he's ever fortunate enough to be invited to join the WWE Hall of Fame, he says he only wants to go in if they'll put draws with him. What a moment. Check it out. The entire conversation, adfreeshows.com.